No, the menu storage is actually a stupid weird glitch. I would never go for it. Like, yeah, we're going to explain the reason. So let's get this started. So 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, can you explain real quick menu storage?
Yeah, so recently a new exploit slash glitch was found. Basically, if you go into the menu and you go into like a sub menu, so either it's like save and quit or something, and then cancel it 2 different ways, it keeps the menu running. And then if you save and quit and go back to the menu, and then reload the game actually puts you on a different screen that you transition to while you saved and quit. Sorry, I just forgot to mention that. And then you can actually... It's really confusing to explain, but TGH has a really good video of it and explaining it. So if you look up Rush highlights with TGH, he explains it way better than I'll ever do. Basically, you can just skip entire rooms off screen, and it's really hard to.
You can also save like 13 seconds in the prologue, because you can skip the last cutscene we just saw.
Yeah, that's one of the main places where it's used. That, and we also use it to we unlock the B side, which are basically harder versions of each chapter. We unlock it for chapters 5 and 6, and then we use menu storage to skip a lot of 5B, and that makes it faster for any percent.
I'm playing terrible right now.
So he's in chapter 1 right now, and in chapter 1, I'm just going to go over the basics of dashing. He's going to be using a lot of different kinds of dashing. There's the normal dash, then there's the dash jump, then there's hyper aim when you hold down right or down left and then dash. And there's also wall bouncing where you dash up against the wall and then jump, and you get a huge boost from that upwards. So you're going to be seeing a lot of different kinds of dashing, and all of them can be used in reverse as well, and give you a little bit of a boost. So that's like just a few of the types, but there's a lot of different kinds of dashes that go into this game. That gives it a lot of different options for each room. And also in chapter 1, there's these zippers that he's using for momentum.
Yeah, so the way momentum works in this game is very well made, because you can add to Madeline's momentum every additional momentum of moving platforms to gain ridiculous amount of speeds. Shoutouts to Taz. He used that to just go through spikes, which is very impressive.
Sadly, we won't see that. That's literally not RTA viable in the slightest.
So what I did there, and messed it up a few times, is neutral jumping. So normally you can not infinitely climb up a wall, but if you do a neutral jump, which means do a wall jump without pressing into any direction, you won't lose stamina, but still can get higher. So you can like climb up walls infinitely, which gets used in the speedrun a few times.
Yeah, he'll be using that in chapter 6 as well. And you also saw that he kind of jumped off a spike. He didn't actually jump off it, he just wall jumped off the side of the spike. And that's one of the easiest exploits found in the game.
Oh, come on. There we go. So what I did there, and messed it up 2 times, which means we died already 2 times, even though we not really died. I just retried. See, your like vertical level gets saved, which means we end up being in a dream block while we skip the cutscene, which like saves a few seconds, like actually 0.5 seconds. So not really few seconds. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's like one of the key exploits used.
Okay. Wow.
And right here we have the battle line chase. So battle line is gonna be chasing him, and it's basically like the cosmic clones from Super Mario Galaxy 2. If you ever played that game, it's basically they follow behind 3 seconds, and they follow your exact movements. And if they catch you, you die. Are we counting retries? Well, that counts as a death, so yes.
Yeah, we don't have to count the deaths like really, because at the end of the screen we will see death counter.
Yeah, at the end of the game, if you go to the pie screen, it'll show your total deaths for the run. And we actually do 2 intentional deaths, so hey, there's 20 cents each from both of us right away.
That's true. Also one thing, we use in this game in-game time to time the runs, because in-game time is more accurate and loading and stuff won't get counted in, which can vary from version to version. So yeah, just don't get this like confused if the RTA time might be a little bit higher than my PB. My PB is, by the way, a 41:57. I have no idea what that would be in RTA. Like, I never messed my time with RTA.
Yeah, I don't think many people use RTA timing anymore. RTA is dead in Celeste running, so. And that awake section he did at the end of the chapter, the task was a really stupid strat with a lot of corner boosting, but
yeah,
you didn't see it from him.
This
not RTA viable.
This end part is actually quite difficult to get through fast, and you can optimize it very, like, to a very hard level. Oh, can you maybe explain why this chapter is probably the second hardest chapter in the game?
Yeah, so chapter 3, casually is where it starts ramping up in difficulty, also in speedruns as well, because not only do we have to get keys and stuff like that, we have to traverse rooms in specific orders, but there's also the fact that there are these dust bunnies that you see, and some of them are stationary, but some of them move on cycles, so there are different cycles that we have to learn, and specifically we learn 2 different cycles, one for when we enter the room and one if we die, so that in case we take an unfortunate death, we know the backups. And that makes this this chapter very, very difficult to get into for speedrunning.
Yeah, this chapter, like, is actually quite difficult to be, like, consistent at it, I would say.
And I agree with the person who said in chat that it's fun to watch. It's very cool to see this chapter done by top runners. But doing it yourself, especially if you're like new to the game and you don't do as many strats as some of the top runners, obviously, then it's gonna give you a tough time for your first few runs.
Yeah, like it was definitely with chapter 7 the chapter with the highest death count by far.
Yeah.
And it's still today like the second highest for me most of the time. Yeah. But in my last few runs, I actually died only like under 10 times in this chapter, which is pretty good for me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my total death count in my run, I don't do many strats, but I'm known for not dying. My PB has like 25 deaths.
Oh wow, my PB has 65, and my lowest death count I ever got was 56, so yeah.
Yeah, I just need to learn better strats and then keep my death count the same, and then I'll be good.
Yeah, talking about strats really quick, what's really cool in Celeste is that every runner has like his own strats at a certain point. Like, you won't see 2 runners doing throughout the entire run the same strats. Like, everybody has at some points the same strats and their unique own strats, which is very cool, actually.
A really good way to explain that is, like, if you watch TGH, who's the world record holder, and if you watch Bubbai does so many different strats, but TGH does safer strats.
Bubbai is the second fastest right now, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah. Also, that it's a little bit behind right now, but he did a jump there off spikes, and you may be wondering if that's a glitch. It's not. Basically, how this game works is that if you're moving away from spikes, you can wall jump off the wall still. So if you jump from below the spikes and you're moving away, you can get a second wall jump off them. And that's what we call spike jumps. It's not a glitch, it's just an exploit found. There's not really any glitches in Celeste speedrunning.
Also, one thing why this game is very great for speedrunning, like, there are so many speedrun unique things made by the developers. Like, the developers decided day one they want to make this game speedrunner friendly, because most of the developer team are themselves speedrunners, so that's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Shouts to Kevin, who actually is on the leaderboard for this game.
Yeah, Kevin, we will talk about Kevin later.
Yeah, there's a specific reason we'll talk about him later.
It's so funny. The first time I hear it, but yeah, later. So what's currently going on in the game is big mess. So we have to clear these 3 like sections where like kind of a switch was at the end to clear the hotel.
Yeah, and he can do those switches in any order, but we kind of everybody does the same order because each time we have to talk to Oshiro after, which is the ghost who runs this hotel. We have to talk to Oshiro each time after we hit one of the buttons, and he always appears in the same spot, so we kind of route it out so we can talk to him right away. And this elevator shaft portion, which is this next part that he's on, these next set of rooms, this is where Chapter 3 really starts ramping up in difficulty for casual players.
Yeah, one thing, don't get like confused if he talks like behind. He has a slight delay to my stream.
Yeah.
So don't blame him. And other thing, yeah, in a casual playthrough, this chapter is actually really hard, like compared to the first 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. And right there, he's actually going with the key, because we keep the key if we die. So we just
retry is faster than going back casually.
Yeah, because it spawns us back to the last part of the room that we entered, which is obviously the entrance, and we need to get back there anyways. So we just retry.
Also, this
which
room
does count as a death.
Also, the room with the key is actually quite hard casually, but in the speedrun, there's a kind of consistent way to get it all the time.
Yeah, you saw that he did 4 hypers on those platforms, and getting hypers down when you're starting to learn this game is a little bit difficult, but that's definitely a room to learn them in. And again, the game actually teaches you how to wall bounce and hyper in itself. So by the end of the, like 100% of the game, you will know how to speedrun it already. And this Oshiro section, he's doing the Oshiro boss fight. Oshiro will be chasing after you from the left of the screen, and wherever he shoots that little lightning, it shows where he's going to be attacking you from, and he'll just charge at you. And that's basically it. You just don't want to get hit by him. But you can also bop on his head, and that regains your dash, and also gives you a little bit of a boost, which some players do that just for safety. And also, if Oshiro gets near you, he will be doing sort of it'll give you sort of a slowdown effect. Like the screen will slow down and go in slow motion for a second. And we don't want that to happen, so we try to stay as far away from Oshiro as we can.
I'm actually really happy with this chapter 3. Like,
Nice.
I got some very stupid deaths at some points, but still managed to be very fast compared to my average time, and only 11 deaths is also kind of good for me. And the last room of Oshiro didn't destroy me like normally, so yeah.
Yeah, and that final Oshiro room is like really punishing if you die at the end of it too. Actually, any of the Oshiro rooms are really punishing.
The spike wall jump isn't really hard actually, chat.
Spike jump's fairly easy once you do it once or twice. And we do it twice in this run too. We do it in chapter 4 as well.
In which chapter? Chapter 4? Oh yeah, like I can go for it if you want to.
Oh,
I'm very inconsistent at it. Yeah, like
I think that one's easier than the one in chapter 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to go for it, it's fine.
There is one who's actually very easy, but I don't remember which one. The one in chapter 7.
Yeah, the chapter 7, which we call key skip.
We are not really
And
skipping
again,
a key, we are skipping rather a bubble, but you will see that later.
Yeah.
So, about this chapter, you see the wind, you see bubbles, you see clouds, all new game mechanics in this chapter. And yeah, bubbles are like an additional dash in the air. That was very stupid by me.
Yeah, going off what he was saying, bubbles like refill your dash, and they also give you the direction or the amount of a boost as a dash would. Oh, he is going for the. He was going for the.
Yeah, but
spike jump.
Oh, come on. Okay, never mind. We go the very slow strat. Oh, not very slow. Okay, I'm dying a few stupid deaths, but I think it's all for the charity. So that's my like. I can say I want to do it for the charity, so I have to pay
just
more
die
money.
like 20 more times on purpose.
Okay, I'm happy.
This is a rage platformer though. It's designed to make you die, so. So coming off what he said, there's the bubbles that he was talking about. There's also the winds that can push you in a direction, which doesn't really affect us as speedrunners because any dash will kind of push you through the wind. And then there's also these directional blocks that move in the direction that they're pointing. And you can kind of alter them with how you're crouching or if you're pulling or pushing on them. And yeah, these like last couple of rooms are fairly difficult with their certain strats.
Yeah, there are some, like in every chapter, there are some real crazy strats you can pull off. And yeah, also some really inconsistent ones. Also the task pulls off some ridiculous strats. So this game still gets optimized in various ways nowadays. And it's quite impressive how the community finds new tricks every day or new ways to save in a room's like time.
Yeah, and the world record recently just went down to sub 30, which is now 29:59. So that's pretty crazy by itself. And these snowballs that are going to be showing up, they kind of act the same as Oshiro in a way. They just don't show where they're going to come from, and they come from the opposite end of the screen.
Yeah, there we have them. Like, snowballs are the worst friend of a speedrunner.
There's a lot of clips of people losing a lot of time to snowballs and stupid
like me
ways.
right there. Oh, come on. Yeah, like this room, if you do it like well with whatever strat you're using, like my strat, if I do it well, I wouldn't have any problems with the snowball, but now I have. Okay, come on, I died quite a lot right now. I will slow down here.
Oh man, that snowball just giving you a hard time right now.
Yeah, that room is quite hard actually. Once like the death cycle, like you spawn a little lower, so you have the snowball is coming at the other position. That was very close.
So kind of like the dust bunnies, you kind of need to adjust if you die.
Yeah, and yeah, I died there a few stupid deaths because I tried to be fast, but wasn't really fast, you know.
Yeah.
Because I
God,
died
I just hate when I try to go fast and I'm not. Alright, so he's basically done with chapter 4. There's just like that last room is more of an easy one.
Yeah. Like the few rooms before the last one are like only the one with the snowball I died a bunch is like very tricky, especially to new runners. Like I died 8 times in this chapter and like I think 5 deaths went to a snowball there in this chapter, so that was pretty dumb.
Yeah, I'd say the snowball room is like the last really difficult room of chapter 4. So now chapter 5 has a lot of skips, so I'm probably gonna let him explain them because I'm in delay for the ones that he's gonna go for.
Okay, so
basically there's these red bubbles. They kind of act like the teal bubbles, but they go just one straight direction. Okay, now I'll be quiet.
The first skip here, normally we have to get the bubble from a room on the left side to go through this like spike corridor, and with a wave dash of the dash platform I just did there, we were able to like go through this corridor without the bubble, which saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, that room has a lot of different strats to do it too. That skip, he did a wave dash. Some people do a reverse hyper. It's just all up to preference.
One thing about this chapter is, in a speedrun, it's very straightforward. In a casual playthrough, you have a lot of sub-areas with berries and keys you need, but in a speedrun, we like normally just go to the right and till the end. The other skip...
specifically... Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, the other skip is just an developer-intended skip, where you have to find this like hidden bubble to go through the room without opening the door, so we don't have to find another key. And now you can talk.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is seeing this run, seeing this chapter done in 100% is just mind-boggling, especially if you're just coming into the Celeste scene, the Celeste speedrunning scene. Seeing 100% is crazy. compared to what casual players do.
Yeah. Like as I said, the run gets optimized every day, and some speedrun threads actually look like so ridiculous. And I don't know how much fun, like I believe it's a lot of fun to pull them off, but there are probably also a lot of practice to like be able to pull them off.
Yeah, and you saw there that he was actually playing something other than Madeline. That's the girl's name that we're playing as, but this is the sole time that we get to play as something different. We get to play as a Seeker, which are now going to be our new friends in this chapter. So the Seeker section, basically, they will be chasing after you, and you can bop them on the head, and they can also collect these lock switches for you that unlock the door. So overall, we try to abuse them so that they do most of the work for us. And yeah, for the most part, it's just like trying to find the best way to get them to hit the switches, and using setups as well, and also just trying not to die to them. The last room specifically in the unraveling section, which is this one that he's in right now, is probably the hardest part because there's a lot of places where you can get trapped by the Seeker.
Okay, never mind, we have to like individually find out how to play this room right now, and I'm... Okay, that room was very terrible played by me.
Yeah, that room gives a lot of people struggles, specifically. I've seen a lot of runs go very bad because of that Seeker.
Yeah, Seekers are also not random really. Like, good runners are able to manipulate them. But if once you mess up, they like kinda tough to deal with. Because, yeah, it takes a long time until you finally understand how Seekers work.
Yeah, and right there you saw search skip.
No,
he's going for search skip.
Yeah, no, I'm going for. Like,
yeah.
So
search skip was found like in the second day or something.
Yeah, I also heard in an interview by the developers that when they were testing this game, they find out about the skip and thought about, should we like cut it off, or should we like just let it be in the game? And they decided, it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's
and
like
search skip is just done by doing a reverse hyper. It's very easy.
Yeah, it's not. Wow, okay, that was very dumb. It's
well,
not.
There is a corner boost strat, but that's like really annoying, and no one goes for it. So.
Like, it's the most important skip in the run, but it's not an hard skip. Like, everybody can do it, and it saves like a couple of minutes, to be honest.
Saves like 3 minutes from grabbing a key.
Yeah, like...
Or grabbing 2 keys.
Yeah, you have to grab 2 keys to open the path for a bubble, but because we are speedrunners and don't have time for it, you can do it without, like, the bubble. Other thing, Theo section is probably the most fun to watch by new... okay. That looked very interesting. Yeah, sorry, I was so surprised what happened there. So yeah, Theo section is like, newer runners tend to do some individual stuff which looks quite fun. And in the beginning I got annoyed by Theo section because I got overwhelmed by the controls. But nowadays it's my most fun section to play because there's so much crazy things happening all the time. Yeah. And I'm getting really excited about it.
Theo really slows you down, so basically, but if you dash into him or hyper into him, you can keep that speed. So you're seeing him hyper into Theo and then grab him, and he keeps his momentum. And literally everybody does that nowadays, unless like they're just getting into the speedrunning. They'll usually take this section very slow.
Yeah, like the first time you try to speedrun this game, you like did some hypers here and there and think, okay, now I'm fast, and then you come to this place and Theo controls are like completely different than all the other controls in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really have to like change your game plan in Theo section.
Yeah, and that was a pretty solid chapter 5.
Yeah, like a few stupid deaths here, but the Theo section was actually pretty good. Like, I don't think I died there, so that's pretty good.
No. So now moving into Reflection, which is chapter 6. We'll get into talking about Kevin. But before that, we have these golden feathers, and these are analog controlled. So people who play on keyboard, I applaud them because controlling the feather with keyboard is horrible. But it's basically just a flying mechanic for a period of time.
Yeah. So, Chapter 6, by the way, probably the most important game casually because of the story. So, in my opinion, the story and the music and the gameplay, like all three things, are like the best part about this game. So, if you want to learn more about the story, please buy the game and pay it and play it because it's a lot of fun and the story, like, might help you in real life, to be honest.
It did for me. Like that's the thing you don't expect.
Yeah, it did also
from...
for me. Like this game looks like so much fun, and you don't expect like a real deep story from a jump and run. But this game has actually quite a deep story. Like it talks about depression and stuff. So there's nothing else. Like you can't go even deeper, honestly. So yeah, this game is pretty good.
It definitely shines in its story.
So Kevin blocks. We call them, like these blocks we saw already quite a few times, are called Kevin blocks because Kevin from Power Up Audio made the like sound effect for it. When like he put his head into like a bucket of water and then he did this sound, and that sound effect they put just into the game like that. Like a little bit of editing, but that was like the baseline of that sound effect, and that's quite funny. So that's why we called it blocks, Kevin blocks.
Yeah, they're actually called Crush blocks, but no one calls them that because why would you call them that when you call them Kevin blocks?
Yeah.
And again, we use Kevin blocks for a lot of momentum. You will be seeing that during Battle Line boost, which is later in the chapter. But for now, he's in the choice section. This is where you can choose where you go up or down, and for sometimes it's either faster or slower to go up and down, but a lot of runners do the exact same order for these rooms. And these bumpers here, if you actually hit into the bumpers and you hold the opposite direction when you hit into them, you get sent flying a lot farther, which is used for one of the rooms specifically. When devs are okay with the glitches in the game. I mean, if we're talking about all the skips and stuff like that, like the devs, those aren't even glitches. Like they aren't considered glitches. This game is fully glitchless just because it's movements. Like there's nothing done to the game or anything like that. It's just all what we do with Madeline's movement. And yeah, chapter 6 again. Casually, chapter 6 is fairly difficult. But in speedrunners, for speedrunners, it's fairly easy.
Yeah, I would also say that the upcoming boss fight, once you learn a few speedrun threads, it's way easier than any casual thread you can imagine for that chapter.
Oh yeah, part. It's also probably my favorite part of the game. I just love the music there.
Yeah, the music is great.
Please spam hey when we get there, by the way.
Yo. Also, in general, I would say the music of this game is like beautiful in every place because it always fits to the game and to the place you are at. And
also, this falling down section also has some dev-intended skips that I didn't mention, but just some holes that he can fall through that the devs left in on purpose. And there are setups to actually get them. He took a little bit of a safer route so he can get a save point in case he died. So. And then this is Battle Line boost coming up.
Yeah,
using this
I'm not really good at it, but I try to get it.
Yeah. So basically that Kevin block can give you so much. You can hyper off that Kevin block and get a lot of boosts where it can just send you right into the boss fight and skip an entire hallway. It looks really cool, and it's always awesome to get it.
So now we are at the amazing boss fight, so spam your heyas, I would say.
Yeah, so this boss fight, basically, this is a really cool, unique boss fight in the fact that you don't have to, like, wait or anything. It's all movement intensive. All you gotta do is hit Battle Line each time, and she moves farther into the room. And so if you learn like hypers and stuff like that in this game, you'll learn to love this boss fight. It's so awesome, the stuff you do. Thank you for the TGH Heyas. And there's actually an audio glitch later on in this boss fight that the devs also left in just for people, for speedrunners specifically, because it only happens when you retry once you hit battle line, where it goes like the audio kind of glitches up, and they left it because only speedrunners would retry over and over on a single room after they finish it.
Yeah, like as a casual player, you get so much overwhelmed when you're falling down into spikes that you will never reset, because you're so overwhelmed with the situation that you are dying.
Yeah.
Like that was my experience. So
it just keeps it. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
But that's the thing. Like only speedrunners retry in this game. Nobody else does.
Yeah. And basically, it just keeps the audio in a glitch state the entire time for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I got it once, like when I was practicing this chapter, and it annoyed the shit out of me.
I do that on runs that I know aren't gonna PB, just to annoy my viewers. So
wow, that's pretty...
You should be happy that I'm not running this game, because I would probably show it off.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it consistent, and yeah, we are already like have a lot of deaths, so...
Yeah, true.
I'm a poor student. Forgive me.
But it's for a good cause.
Yeah, but I actually gotta save money, maybe.
Yeah, but I gotta live, man. Like,
would be a good idea.
Alright, so this next section is what I like to call the Tamper Tantrum section, where Battle Line just had enough and she started throwing blocks at us. That's basically the second half of the boss fight. And again, this section is, like, this entire boss fight is why it would be faster to use menu storage. But only if you do task strats for 6B, which no one does. So I think, like, the only reason we use menu storage is for prologue and 5B.
Yeah, 5B.
And any percent. Which had a lot of talk going into about, like, the whole...
Yeah.
Should we ban menu storage?
This entire menu storage debate was like, it's for me more like a meme than a real debate. Like, it's not as a meme like door skip, but it's still a meme.
Oh, we'll get to door skip.
I won't go for it because I hate door skip.
Oh,
I really hate it.
At least once. Run's not valid. Rest in peace. Yeah, door skip's just a stupid trick that saves 1 second if you get it, and if you don't go for it, we make jokes saying it's not valid.
So what happened there was actually very weird. Like, I retried, so I wasn't in the cutscene, but I touched the ground already. So I will just restart there at the cutscene, which is actually very weird. And
I've never seen that.
And that happens to me like every third attempt of chapter 6. More or less.
I've never seen anybody retry like that before.
I also retried and the camera like glitched somewhat. Like it was way higher than normally or way lower. I don't remember exactly. And I got like I thought, okay, that looks actually pretty weird where my camera is right now. So yeah, last chapter.
Summit. So Summit's gonna have sort of a... Basically, what happened in Chapter 6 was we got knocked down the mountain, so now we're going to be climbing back up different sections of each chapter. But they're obviously harder because it's the last chapter. So you'll be seeing all the game mechanics we've been talking about. They're all going to be coming back. This beginning section is sort of based off of Chapter 6. The camera glitched? Uh-oh. No. No. Don't ban us.
I also got once a camera glitch in the last room of like the 2500 meter section.
Oh really?
Yeah, like when you skip the first spring, or when I skipped the first spring in that room, because I knew it's doable because TGH does it. so it's good,
Yeah.
I thought. But my camera was like way behind than normally, and it ruined my entire like run because I was unable to see things I would love to see, and I got like confused by it quite a lot.
In that cutscene room that he accidentally retried, and I actually soft locked the game once. Oh, sorry, no, it was entering the battle line fight because I soft locked the game. Like we talked about in chapter 2, it keeps your Y position, and doesn't keep your X position, and just moves it over to where the cutscene should happen.
I don't know, but I'm playing like very bad right now. And it felt like my controller was broken, but no, everything is fine, I'm just very stupid. Like, I played very poor there. Like, super poor. Like, I played like, I want to die unintentional, but yeah.
Don't worry, man, it's more money for charity.
Yeah, at least,
Think of it that way.
At least something. Like, it was a bad idea to, like, do this, but okay. Whatever. It adds actually a lot of stress to me.
I was thinking about doing that. Like, I was, for those who don't know, I'm also saving money for my run of Odyssey. I'm gonna be donating $1 per bonk, which is gonna happen a lot. But I was gonna. I always thought like, hey, when the Celeste run comes, I'm probably gonna donate per death. I know where I'm going to. I was either gonna donate per death or per what we decided to do, which is per 10 deaths.
Also, one thing between these like 500 meter sections each, there's a cutscene with skip, but you can accidentally press skip too early and you will retry like the last room, because retry and skip is the same input. And
yeah,
it
each time
happened...
Battleline and Madeline use their powers combined to shoot up the mountain, you can skip the cutscene, but sometimes you can skip it a little too early and you'll retry.
This happened to me like once, where it affected my run very heavily in the last room of 1500, which is like the hardest part in the game in my opinion, and it totally destroyed my mindset.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I was so happy I've overcome the room, and then I just have to redo it. Like, what's that shit?
Yeah, and I don't think we mentioned this, but these green blocks that he's going through, you can jump out of them, but you can also hyper out of them, which is a 1-frame window to hyper out of them. But yeah, again, that's something the game teaches you in 2B, but you never would think to use it in a run until you learn it. And now he's moving on to 1500, which is probably the hardest section, casually and in a speedrun. Because again, the cycles with these bunnies are the worst.
And there are 2 extremely long rooms, and if you die there, you will lose a lot of time and get frustrated.
Yeah. There's one specific room that we call the hyper room, or sorry, the ultra room, which is crazy.
Yeah, and, I'm unable to do these ultras consistently.
Yeah, ultras are really hard. I didn't mention ultras earlier. Basically, ultras are when you're doing a hyper dash, you have a lot of speed, but if you dash down diagonal, you increase that speed by a lot. It's crazy. And yeah, as you can see, he's just trying to take some safe cycles for the most part. Oh, I've never seen anybody do that ultra room like that, by the way. I just saw it. And right here we take a, you saw he went down in sort of a secret area. That's normally where you would go for to get a strawberry in 100%, but it's actually a faster room to go through than the other room that you're supposed to go through for normal 90%. And again, just saving like, that saves like maybe 3 or 4 seconds because you don't have to worry for the for a cycle with a dust bunny. So are you gonna go for the auto scroller skip?
I try to, because I never really practiced it, but I got it once in my run, so yeah, don't seems that hard for me. It's probably, oh wow, the snowballs again. It's probably the second hardest skip in the game, besides double bubble skip, which is extremely hard to pull off.
Yeah, that bubble skip that we did before to skip that key, there's a way that you can skip both of the bubbles.
So, can you explain real quick auto-scroller skip?
Yeah, so basically,
Okay,
he's
that
on
was
an
very
auto-scroller
bad.
right now with this. He's on an auto-scroller right now with that moving block, and if you can actually keep the momentum from the block and actually increase it with a hyper dash and also regain your dash. And so you can just dash over and skip the entire auto scroller there, or half of it sort of, and then do a nice wall bounce to get over the rest. Which he got second try, so.
Yeah. Like, the good thing about the second half is, once you mess up, you have the possibility to save it, because you have a second dash.
And then that up block part is like an auto scroller that he can't skip. Like, you can't.
Like, you can do that, like, it looks for me very crazy, you can do the crazy wall bounce, but I never learned this, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that wall bounce only saves like 2 seconds or something. It saves like 2 or 3 seconds, I think. And this room right here with like the forward wind, like every time there's forward wind, there's a lot of cool strats that you can do with a lot of momentum.
Actually, I don't know what happened there, why I died. I just, like, got stuck between the block and the spikes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so I think 2000 meter, which is one he's currently on, is probably the easiest section, for me at least.
I'm really inconsistent at it. I either fail and lose a lot of time in 1500 or 2000, and once I got through both very good, I fail a lot at 3000 then.
Yeah, and 3000 is the final part of the run, so that we'll be seeing. So now there's also a lot of skips 2500. The main one that you'll be seeing is door skip. Well, we won't be seeing it, but
The main one is
about
key skip actually.
Oh, sorry, key skip. Yeah,
Yeah,
but like the main meme one is door skip.
Yeah, door skip.
Basically, it turned into a meme that if you don't do door skip, then you can't be on the leaderboard, but it's a joke. So if you don't do door skip, don't worry, we still love you anyways. And yeah, so key skip is some spike jumps in a row, and it looks harder than it is. Basically, it's just 2 neutral jumps in a row, and then you just do 2 dashes up. And it skips having to use that red bubble at the bottom, like going down to an alternate path to get up there. And second try, and very nicely done.
Yeah, I got
gives me a lot of trouble.
Got kind of lucky there. It felt like, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually very surprised. So, door skip, normally you can skip these doors without, like, you can go through the doors or under the doors without, like, pressing the switch, and it saves, well executed, a second. And there are a lot of runners, like very new runners, that are going for this, and I totally don't understand why. Like, they practice it quite a lot to just save 1 second. Like, what is wrong with you? Learn something else and save like 5 minutes because of like better movement and stuff.
They want to be accepted by the mods.
Actually, nice save by myself. I was very happy about that save. You will see it.
That. Yeah, basically, like, for them. Oh, I just saw it now. Never mind. I thought I saw it before, but no, I saw it now.
No, the last thing I skipped.
The 2 dashes there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more important than 2D skip. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. 2D skip is the most important skip you guys will see in Odyssey. Again, it also saves 2 seconds. So this is 3000 meter, where this is the final climb, and for the most part, there's a bunch of different sections. There's the downwind section, which he's on right now. There's the upwind section, and then there's the normal section. So downwind section, we're gonna be using hypers to just move throughout, and it kind of slows down your movement.
Actually, for me casually, the summit, like the 3000 meter part of summit was casually the most fun gameplay wise, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I agree.
The jump and run sections in this part are actually well made, and you feel amazing once you get through it.
Yeah, and so Some of them are kind of risky with times. Specifically, flag 13. If you die on flag 13, that's like one infinite one, and it wastes like 30 seconds.
Yeah, my hardest, or my demon flag is probably the second one, because
like number 2.
I lost so much time to it. Yeah, the number 2 flag, like the second last technically. I lost so many runs to it, and just because I was nervous and not because I like have no idea how to do it, or because it's hard. Like it's kinda like tight, but it's not really hard once you have done it a few times.
Especially because like you're at the end of the run and the nerves are building up. If you're on a good pace.
I lost like, I was so hard grinding on the sub 44 back then, and I lost like 3 runs in a row to this shit.
Oh,
because I was just too nervous.
And someone said in chat, do the double flag skip. You can actually skip hitting these flags. It's a little bit risky and it saves like a second for each one you skip.
Yeah, but if you die, like the flags are like checkpoints, obviously. So if you die, you lose a lot of time. And I won't skip any flag today.
You go back to the last flag you hit, so it's even worse. So it's like high risk, high reward.
Yeah, technically, but I won't skip any flag today.
Yeah, it is a marathon run, so he's taking it safe.
Like the 8 flag is like probably the most like skippable.
Yeah, I say that's the easiest one to skip, is that flag that that most people skip.
I'm messing up so many dashes today, that's very embarrassing.
Again, this game isn't like, you can easily mess up your dashes and it won't even be your fault. Like sometimes you could swear you held up and you will dash like upright or something, just because of notches on your analog stick or something. And by the way, time is coming up in like a minute or two when he skips the final cutscene.
Like, yeah, when we just like reach the top, you will see it then.
Yeah. We'll yell out time when it happens.
Yeah, like when you see the flag with the number 1, it's like about to happen in a few seconds.
Yeah. Flag 1 is like, again, easy. Another place to choke.
Yeah, but you can choke there. But it's actually quite easy to not... Okay, never mind. But it's actually quite easy to not die, but I nearly died there because I was like stupid.
And time's coming up here.
And time.
GG, nice.
So the in-game time says 43:35, which is I think my 4th or 5th best time I ever got. So that was actually, I played so terrible at most places, but somehow I managed to be actually quite fast. Like it's 2 minutes behind my PB, but it's still a good time. Nice. Yeah, like I was talking about in-game time, not about RTA. As demon, so yeah.
Yeah, we use RTA. Sorry, we don't use RTA. RTA is kind of dead for us at least. But hey, 47-27, we still went underestimate for the RTA estimate. So GG.
Yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed this run, and yeah, now we are looking at the death counter to see how much we have to donate. I think it's quite high. Oh, 68, that's actually pretty good. I thought we were like in the 70s or 80s. So yeah, each of us is going to like donate $6.80, whatever the whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to do, I'm going to donate it right after this one, so...
I probably will too, I just need to find my credit card.
So...
but yeah, if you want to run this game, please, people, pick out this game. It's such a good speed game. It's designed for speedrunners. So we have a Discord for it. There's currently a Celeste 90% tournament going on, and Flesh here is actually hosting one as well. So
yeah, like the community is pretty big. It's like currently the most active like community out there in the speedrun world. So join it. You will find there a lot of people that are very kind and very helpful on each different like skill level. We have new people like every week, and you can learn and grind with them together. And like don't think you can like reach the top. Like if you dedicate yourself towards this game and like try your best, you can go to the top. Like there was one in the tournament who started like 2 weeks before the tournament, started with a 56 or whatever, and now he's I think in the top 30s or top 40s with a 34.
Oh, wow.
Like he improved so much. He was like the last or second last seed in his group and he got second or third. Like this guy is crazy. And I'm also pretty happy with my improvement. Like my first run was like a little bit over a month with a 1 hour 24, and now I'm like nearly at sub 40. So yeah, pick up this game.
I came into the tournament with a 53 and I left it with a 43. So
yeah, like you can improve this game. Pick it up casually or in a speed run. I recommend it really. So yeah, that was Celeste. I hope you had all fun, and yeah, see you next